Now to a real feel-good story, and by Jove, don't we need one. Now, the Prince of Wales has carried out his first official engagements since his wife revealed her cancer diagnosis. William has been in West London visiting a charity that tackles food poverty. And he then visited a youth centre that receives food from the charity. And I'm joined by royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams. Richard, welcome to the show. So, William putting his best brave face on, his best foot forward, and it was a really wonderful moment, wasn't it?
Absolutely, and something that we've been wanting to see, also something where clearly there'd been a very, very deserved break the family were having in the recent period, because for me, Catherine's video message to the nation, talking about her health in the way that she did, was perhaps the most impressive ever given by a public figure in Britain on that subject. And so good to see William, and we'll be seeing, we hope, a great deal more of him in the coming weeks and months. And then hopefully, when health permits, Catherine will be joining him.
And there's a wonderful picture on screen there viewers can see at home, and that was one of the volunteers at the charity, a lady called Rachel Candapper, who's 71, handed 2 Get Well cards to the Prince, and she also asked him if she could shake his hand, and he said yes, and she said, "I loved it. He was very down to earth. I'm never washing my hand again." But I hope that's not true. She works in the food sector, Richard.
Well, those are the sort of charming stories that make these visits worthwhile. I mean, royal engagements are tremendously important, and there's no doubt that William has got a very definite style that's tremendously pleasing. I mean, he and Catherine, working as a team, of course, have a very special cachet. No other royal couple anywhere in the world has the same cachet, the same glamour, and there's no doubt at all that it's delightful to see, and as you say, these images that cheer.
Yeah, well, he's not very good at chopping vegetables, I've got to say. He needs a bit of an instruction on that. That's more like it. It's rocking the knife. Anyway, I digress. Richard, what was moving about that, though, when he was handed the Get Well cards, obviously to pass on to Catherine, he was visibly moved by it. You could tell. And isn't that a wonderful thing to see that close-up emotional connection with the public? And that's what these visits are about.
You're absolutely right, but equally, as we all know, it is a very stressful time. King Charles, obviously a very, very difficult period for him, and William, knowing very well that everyone feels for him and is sympathetic, and on the other hand, it's very difficult to know sometimes what to do and what to say, and it was charming. You're absolutely right, and it shows why he's got a certain shyness, a certain charm, and this comes out in these engagements.
And meanwhile, Richard, over the pond, the Ginger Whinger, clearly intimating he's going to drop his anchor. He made America today his primary residence.
Yes, he did indeed, and there's a certain finality about this. I mean, he did indicate earlier that he had considered becoming an American citizen, so that may follow, and if it does, of course, the issue of his title there'll be a distinct question mark over that. But I think that very few people will regret this. In fact, practically nobody will, according to the polls. He's very unpopular here and in the United States. Of course, Harry and Meghan's popularity has gone down, as you know. But, I mean, there's no doubt that the date I see that's set for this change was the date they were evicted from Frogmore Cottage. And the reason for that, of course, was Spare, and the interviews around it were very damaging royal family. He knew what he was doing, and, well, this is the way he wishes to go. So be it. What happens behind the scenes, of course, this is another matter as to whether or not this rift, which is so deep, can be bridged.
OK, Richard Fitzwilliams, thank you very much. Maybe the strawberry blonde prince will stay and make strawberry jam with Meghan in California. Thanks for joining us on the show. Always a pleasure.